Exploring around, diving deep, and looking around, you find yourselves in a strange place and location. Sure, events in your past have led you down different paths, have led you down different roads, and have even led you down different storylines. This encounter is unique. Before the events that have taken place with your green, we've already started.
Green card. Green card. Got it.
Before the events that took place with the rest of your team, and before said marriage situation, Zold and Q had decided to go on a side story main mission where not Ramon, but Ramon's brother had told you about a strange town where things had been going awry. Something is not right within the city and something has been going on. People all over have been coming back from this strange mansion with a white skin, a pale face, red eyes, and a strange, somber look to them. No one really knows what's going on, but Ramon's brother, whose name I never gave because I quickly wrote this like 10 minutes ago. I'll just call him Francis. Frank for short. Decided to go and ask for help. Being the individual that you are, Zold, you decided to make this part of your bachelor party. However, everyone was kind of busy at this moment in time. One of your companions, Morthos, had decided to go into a well, like he normally does from time to time, a graveyard. You don't question this, and you really may not care.
Chuck, question, if this is before the wedding and all, does that mean Q's still Echo Knight?
No, we're just gonna completely rewrite that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I just needed to fit it somewhere.
Got it, no worries.
And your other accomplice, Ray Shauna, or Ray for short, went on to go study. Not much for a bachelor party sort. So, Q being the only other individual that is not up for bachelor parties, but up for a good fight, and potentially this is one, decided to tag along with, I've already forgotten his name. Ramon's brother, Zold, and Q. I'm gonna give him a new name. Someone come up with one.
Fred.
Quentin?
Fred Quinton. Sure.
Oh yeah, just to throw this out there, I have an idea for an Iron Man in D&D with the new Artificer.
Yeah, armor artificer. 10 times
Iron
fast.
Man.
Is just Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. From being the Hulkbuster Iron Man to regular Iron Man.
At any rate, Frank had decided to bring you along, as he basically had no one else to join. Everyone else was kind of busy. Looking towards you, he does state, now, where we're going to, mainly humans reside, but not everyone is human. There are tieflings, halflings, the various sorts, but many of them are of demonic blood, if that's of any worry or issue. The main concern, however, is when they come back from this castle is the main problem. Do you have any questions before we head out? I really haven't actually examined the castle as of yet. I thought it might be some biological thing, so I had decided to get help before going inside.
They're pale-faced. They go in, they're fine. They leave, they're pale-faced.
Yes.
Sounds like someone's draining their blood.
But they're coming out?
They are coming out.
Has anyone been able to talk about what happened?
We could probably find someone, but I was mainly out there to scout. If I drew too much attention to myself, it might have become a problem.
Of course. What a shitty bachelor party. I hardly know you, and Q, you're a girl at a bachelor's party.
I've been to a few in the guard barracks.
That's not how that's supposed to work, but I'm happy you made it regardless. Thank you both.
Mm-hmm.
No
I
problem.
mean, consider your friend. So.
I just needed help, but congratulations on the marriage. With any luck, you'll survive this. And this doesn't become an offshoot timeline.
What are you talking about now? Timelines?
Don't worry about it. It's something that happens within my own universe. Dimension?
See,
Ramon did state that we're from a different place, right?
Yeah,
she'd brought it up before. I just didn't quite realize how
Ramon's the guy.
It's fine. Anyways.
Maybe it was a different dimension, Ramon.
That's true. Some people have changed genders in this game. But heading into town, you do find someone pale-faced, kind of with red piercing eyes. However, there seems to be a strange movement about them. While they themselves are humanoid, human complexion, human visage, the strange red eyes look is peculiar. It might have to do with demonic blood, which Frank did state that the residents do have, but it's still odd.
So, we should head in, yeah?
Sorry. Yeah.
As you head into town, you see more and more individuals popping up. While they themselves, some have the strange coloration and pigmentation, they don't seem to be worse for wear. Rather, they seem to be jovial than anything else. If this is a biological hazard, perhaps they're getting over it. They still have pale faces and their skin is still gaining an ambulance sound right now.
Don't you hate it when your skin makes the ambulance sound?
Anyways, jovial sound, and if this is a biological thing, perhaps it's already going away. They themselves are still pale, still possess the red eyes. It's kind of weird, but they're pretty much jovial. There are some people that don't have this strange complexion scenario, but not many. It seemed the time that Frank was away, more and more people went into the castle. He does then illustrate, perhaps we should speak with one of them, or perhaps we should go inside. Frankly, I'd rather get more information than not, but if you're all already willing to go, you might as well be the best prepared, or simply go in guns a-blazing.
I would like more information myself. I think it rather odd that demons would make them happy and jovial, so maybe this is something else. Maybe
I'm
it won't even be a positive thing.
Rub my hands together, grab my holy symbol, and cast Death Ward on Zold and myself. Because it doesn't say, it's not a concentration, and it doesn't say I can't cast it on multiple targets.
Is it? It's not concentration.
It's not concentration. Its duration is 8 hours.
Wow.
How about that? You do so. When you begin to cast it upon yourselves, you can tell that it does work on Zold. It does work on you. And that's it. Frank wasn't targeted. But besides that, you can tell that there's some strange presence around you. While it's not affecting your spell or spell-like effect, it is jarring as you're basically scraping alongside something as you're casting your magic.
You okay there, Q? Just had a shiver run through you.
Something's off about this place. Very much so.
Think maybe instead of demons, it's undead, and your cleric sense is picking up on some desecration?
Let's see. You get 2 channel divinities, I think. Don't I?
At this level, I think you should.
Let me make sure. Cleric. I'm 11th level. Yeah, I have 2 things of channel divinity.
Handy.
Neat.
The only I was thinking about the turn undead thing, but And I have my. So we're the same level as we were, right? Correct. So
yes.
So I am still level 11 with 1 level in Warlock and 10 in Cleric, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just making sure so that I knew I still had Divine Intervention if needed.
Yeah, the only thing different is the time and place where you're at now.
Okay. Well, better safe than sorry, but I don't have the spell prepared to detect good and evil.
No worries.
So,
I'm
gonna use Sixth Sense. I'm gonna use my Sixth Sense that you gave us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see dead people?
I see dead people all the time at the end of attacks and stuff. So.
Wait a second. Zold was here.
Right.
All right.
I see dead people everywhere with bullet holes.
Go ahead and roll your d20.
9.
It's not a great roll, but I'll give you the information that it can generate. Looking around you, you can determine that the people are jovial. They do seem strange pale complexion. While the castle in front of you is a far distance away, mainly a 10-minute walk there. 5 minutes if you run, or lightly jog. Up to you. You can determine, however, that the area around you seems to have a strange cobblestone engravement around. This is commonplace to most other cities, large or small. However, large is when this usually happens. Looking around at the strange towel sensation on your feet, you can determine that care was taken to make sure that this city was constructed. However, around you, the buildings do seem clandestine, broken. Some are already breaking apart or falling apart, while the area around you is taken care of. The houses and everything else, except for the castle itself, seems breakable. Now, it will require force to do so, but it seems flimsier than anything else. The castle itself seems to have has been painstakingly taken care of. The floor, the surrounding area, the environment has also. But the town seems broken.
What do you think we should do, Zold?
Let's talk to one of the people milling about and see what they say.
I'll let you do the talking.
Fair enough.
But I'm going to be on guard, and I'm going to be using my passive perception, my insight, and active perception, looking around, listening to him, and listening to what their responses and everything.
Mm-hmm. As you wander about an area that seems to have a good amount of crowd around them, you do find a crowd with 10 people. 3 individuals that are standing by each other, 2 individuals that are standing by, not standing, but sitting by perhaps a date at a small little inn or cafe. They're a distance away from the giant crowd. The 3 individuals that are talking with one another are right around the middle, but further into the town, and the crowd is pretty close to you, about 5 feet. Is there anyone in particular you're going to speak with?
Um, no, just whoever seems closest, and I'd rather speak to like a pair of two people than a singular person.
Then I would likely suggest the two. It's lunchtime. They're likely eating lunch, but they seem pleasantly enjoying themselves.
Then I'll approach them.
All right. You can determine, however, that one of them does have the pale complexion with red eyes, and the other one does not. It seems that one has gone in, and the other one has yet to go. The tiefling man and the Aasimar woman looks towards you. The Aasimar woman seems to be the one that went inside. She then states, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, sorry for disturbing you, but I'm not familiar with the local area. I just had a few questions.
Oh, no problem. The tiefling man then goes, "What exactly about?"
Well, the large mansion, is it inhabited?
The woman and the man look at each other, and the woman then states, "It is inhabited by many things. Many people don't go there for various reasons, but you seem to be new." The man then states, "For many years now, we have found this place to be a hallowed site. The ground itself and the castle itself seem to be upkept and kept quite well. The castle itself, however, does invite people to go in, and it seems to draw people inside. While we're not exactly sure what transpires inside, the people that come back seem to be pale-faced and red-eyed, but after some time, roughly around after a night's rest, they seem to be better, more jovial, less frantic, less panicked. While the color never really returns back to their skin, well, that's a falsehood. It does come back, but it does take many months to come back."
I noticed that your companion here, and I'll gesture to the woman, shows those telltale signs. Do you remember what transpired in there?
I remember some things, but not everything. It seems once you leave, some of the memories get cloudy, or maybe the strange sensation that brought me in washes some of them away. But I do remember going into the castle with two other people, two friends. Entering inside, I did encounter some strange abomination. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it seemed to be cascading lightning all around its body. Afterwards, I remember waking up inside of a strange, almost medical facility. And then I saw some strange man strapped down inside of a bed, being dissected. And then when I looked at the doctor turned, and they carried, well, it kind of looked like she gestures like a beak face, kind of like a tengu, but it didn't seem like an actual bird person.
And like an Eric Cochran?
Similar, yes. But not real, if that makes sense. Like a mask.
Oh.
But that's all I remember, I'm afraid. My other two friends might have more information, but I'm afraid that's all I have.
Insight.
Go for it. From what you can tell, she is being genuine. Her other two friends might have information, or they might not. She's honestly not sure.
I rolled a fucking 6 and got a 19.
Hooray. But from what you can tell, she is being truthful. The strange creature with the lightning pulsing around their body, kind of hard to tell. The strange doctor with the bird mask, while your characters aren't familiar with it, you yourselves might have an inkling on what it could be. But I digress. These two entities do seem not connected in any way, but they might be. It's kind of hard to determine without any more information. But herself, has yet to tell a lie.
Okay.
The tiefling man then states, is that all, or do you need anything else? There is a hunter that's about to prepare to go in. They stated that they wanted to kill the evil inside, or save the town. We're not exactly sure what they meant, but they're in an inn not too far from here. He then points to an inn like a couple blocks away. It's known
Thank
as
you.
the Ancient Crow.
Thank you. We might have some questions for him. Dinner's lunch, as it were, is on me, and I'll put down 2 gold coins and be on our way.
Don't put it down on the ground. Give it to him.
He
I meant
kicks
like
them.
on the table, but yeah.
Yeah. So you put them on the ground, kick them towards them. They fling up in the air. You grab them, and then you put them on the table. You really didn't need to do that. It was amazing, though. And then you remind her that you're going to be married. Then you press forwards. So, they do give you information on where you could probably find her 2 friends. They're currently shopping around. Q, this kind of reminds you of Zen. For some reason, who knows. Zold, do you go toward... Well, not Zold alone, but Q and Zold and Frank, do you guys go towards the friends or the strange hunter at the Old Crow?
I would like to see the hunter first.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
All right. Heading towards this strange, decrepit city building known as the Old Crow, you enter inside and a strange gentleman is inside. While sure, there's a whole bunch of other people scattered about the room, one's really out of place. Let me look for their token. Let's see here. There we go. They might be big. Yep. While the Old Crow is filled with humans, Asimar, tieflings, strange other entities that don't seem common in most places, this one in particular stands out. They seem to be carrying a parasol around them, and their face is almost blanketed in shadow wherever you turn. It might be some type of thing that's unique to them, but you can't really discern a face. The only thing that you can discern is that they carry a long broadsword to their right side, a strange mechanical contraption similar to Zold's gun to their left, a parasol on their back, and strange glowing red eyes.
Well met.
Looking at you, they do turn and nod and incline. They are at the bar stool, where the bartender is. Plenty of open spots.
Sorry.
While Q's currently choking. Drink some water, man. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. There are plenty of open seats next to them, and he does gesture towards the area. Looking at you, he does state, "So, what brings you here?"
We heard that you've been doing some investigation into the mansion.
Ah, yes, yes. Frank then states, can we discern why? Well, I suppose that you may. I am currently looking to see and vanquish this evil that seems to be plaguing the town. I'm not exactly sure what's covering this area, but unless you really know about it, you can't exactly find the place. I put 2 and 2 together, and as many people come out of the city, or out of the castle with a strange demeanor, it seems to me that that might be the place that's plaguing the town.
That seems to be a safe bet. But have you any information on what might be inside?
From what I've gathered, I did determine that a few things are out of place. Lumiere, by the way. States his name. You can give him a
Q.
fake name. It's entirely up to you.
I just give him Q.
Yeah.
Q's not about. She's not the type of person to hide her identity, as we've seen in the past of going to the city and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair.
The past and the future.
All times. Lumiere then states. Sorry, motorcycle. Well, from what I've gathered, things don't seem to be adding up. Strange creatures are inside from account to account. Some strange creatures made of electricity, some strange doctor. I've also gathered intel on some other strange beast. A strange four-legged canine that half of his body seems to be decaying away, with a snarling face in front of them. Another seems to be a strange... he gestures wildly. Giant flying mass of flesh and eyes. It is quite odd, the views that each one account has made. And
The
so far-
eye, flesh, multiple eye thing, I'm going to... What would that be to figure out what that is?
Investigation. But then he states, it's odd,
86, there.
but no one seems to have a consistent story, just continuing information, but no through line. With an 8, you've heard of things called, beholders? Maybe? It could be it.
Okay.
Lumiere then states, so I'm not exactly sure what's true or not. The only events I do know is that once you enter the castle, it is not possible to go out until you venture and explore. That also might threaten your life, but no one has yet to die. So I don't believe death or the life of another is meant to be taken there. If anything, they're trying to perhaps explore what the psyche can do, or rather what the body can take.
I see. When did you plan on beginning your expedition, as it were?
Later tonight, once everyone has rested and most of the area is gone. That way, no one will be able to disturb me while I work.
We were also interested in this area and had planned on going in after a little bit of an investigation ourselves. You're more than welcome to join us. I do not have a problem with it, at least.
Nope.
Neither do I. I suppose more help would be better than none. Tell me now, I assume you know how to use the weapons you have around you?
Indeed.
I'm competent.
More or less. Can you define that? I can use a sword, I can use my crossbow, but can't use magic. I suppose that should be enough. Now then, I will be here for about the remainder of the evening until twilight commences. So feel free to explore or just wait here with me. I am finishing my meal, however.
Of course. We'll meet you outside the mansion at twilight.
He nods. And then I move him over here. Frank then looks towards you, too. So, from what we've gathered, not everyone seems to have a consistent story. Lumiere has also stated this. So whatever happens, it seems to be either random or explicitly for the individual that enters inside.
Seems to be that way, yes. I would like to look around a little bit more. Maybe follow one of these pale ones and see just how they go about their day.
Frank nods. All right, I'll begin to scope around the castle keep. You and your friend, I suggest you wander about and perhaps gather more information. If not, well, then you'll know where I'll be by twilight.
Of course. See you then.
And they head towards the castle. Currently, you're still at the Old Crow. Zold and Q, you can explore, look around, or just buy time.
Yeah, like I said, I want to like find a different pale person and follow them around for a bit.
All right. Looking around you, do determine that there are a good amount of people. Roughly around 8 out of 10 people have either explored the castle, come out, and lived to tell the tale, or they're average and normal. After a while, you do find an orc with tusks that come downwards. It's kind of hard to explain, but kind of like uh, jaguars. Not jaguars. Either way, they should not go that way. I digress. They do have pale complexion, red eyes, and the strange, sombering step at their feet, but they do seem jovial. They are surrounded by a couple of people. Around them also seems to be another tiefling female with the same type of complexion, and the last one seems to be a human with the same complexion. However, they also have strange markings about them that indicate uniqueness. The tiefling has their horns going downwards, and the human seems to have a strange iris cut. Not indicating damage, but maybe a mutation. It's hard to explain. But rather than a circular iris, they seem to have a slanted one, similar to a frog.
Frog or a lizard or something, like some sort of amphibian.
Correct.
They look to be experiments.
Because one could take it that way, though. I don't know quite. I can't imagine quite how one would experiment to change the growth direction of tusks or horns. What's your opinion on all of this so far?
I have a feeling that the lady said there was a doctor in there with some kind of mask.
You think that this mysterious doctor is experimenting on people?
Mm-hmm. And for someone to come out pale could only mean blood was taken or something. And they say they recover after time, and depending on what's taking, if a person loses enough blood, they will go pale, and then over time they'll replenish. So I have a very good feeling that someone in there is experimenting on these people.
Could they be wanting their blood, though? Just as part of the experiment, you think?
That... Or they could be creating something, because if... There's many different forms of things that use blood of things, like different types of magics, different types of people. I mean, growing up, Q in the capital a lot too would have known of some types, some things, but I have a feeling like they're trying to either create something or change people to their will. Like, you could take somebody's blood and probably put it in someone else and see how they react, or, you know, like cross. I don't know. It feels to me like they're either trying to create something or create minions. Or they could use the blood to control people. Does Q know about vampires?
There are tales of vampiric entities, strange lycanthrope creatures. While you do know of them or have heard of them, it's not common knowledge that, oh, hey, did you hear about Dave? Yeah, Dave's a vampire now.
You know, I meant like how vampires can control people through their blood and stuff.
Yeah, you have heard of that.
Could be a vampire taking the blood so that they can control them at a later date, if needed.
I suppose it's not out of the realms of possibility, though. I don't know. I have a hard time thinking a vampire would just let these people out.
Well, depending on honestly, like if they're taking things from them, like the lady said, it could be someone experimenting to create something or make a vampire stronger or make themselves stronger. In turn, they could be the vampire doing experiments.
Hmm.
You never
What's
know with creatures like that. I mean,
What's this
depending on do what?
I was going to ask what this mutant group is doing at the current moment.
Two are together, speaking with each other in a pleasant conversation. They don't seem to be, once again, this strange sensation doesn't seem to go away, but they themselves seem to be jovial. They're talking with each other simply enough, casually, with the rest of their group companions. They do seem to be pleasantly talking, not in the way that they're enjoying themselves at this point, but in the way of that they're caught in a conversation and they are trying to find a spot to, like, basically bail out of it. The third one, however, is next to their group, just simply just simply hearing the air around them and reading a nice book.
Ray would get along with that person.
Probably. At some point, Lumiere did leave the facility. Bar.
I just want to follow them around. One of them. We'll follow the human. Just around until dusk approaches, I suppose.
All right. After a while, like 5 more minutes of that pleasant conversation that they were kind of done with, the orc and the human just politely excuse themselves and begin to head out. After a little while out of exiting the crow, you yourselves exit and you do see them walking down an alleyway. They are with two other individuals, but after a while they themselves split apart from the party. The orc goes to the left and the human goes to the right. The two other individuals go separately towards the north of the city. And you said you were going with the human?
Yeah, I'll just follow the human.
Following the strange...
I'll follow the orc.
Okay. Following the strange-eyed human, you can determine that they go after a while to a nice little floral shop. Most of the area, however, does seem to be odd. There's cracking, there's breaking around of the buildings, and after a while you begin to feel a strange sensation as if eyes begin to look at you. You then go towards the individual orc with the strange reverse tusks. You yourself then go and determine that they head towards what appears to be a nice fine jewelry shop. While they themselves don't have any, they seem to be going towards a more feminine section. After a while, you do see them purchase something, and out of the corner of your eye, you do examine someone just peering at the far corner, not at you, but at something else within the city. You see their shadowy silhouette. But
I'm gonna go towards them.
Okay. As you head towards them, the orc then begins to pay for their purchase. Heading towards that direction, Zold, you can determine that someone is looking at you. While you're not exactly sure where, it's not on the ground. You can definitely tell that. If it's in the sewer, that'd be weird. So the only other place would likely be is in the sky or on a building. Examining the sights around you, you can determine that there's two individuals right around you. You don't make it obvious why you're looking at them, but there's one to the left and one to the right. One to the right is closer to where Q went, so if you decide to go and ambush them, maybe you could yell out for Q. The one to the left, however, the one to the left is alone and isolated. They are peering at you, but they don't seem to be, in a way, threatening.
I'll wave at them and just sort of beckon them over to me.
The one to the right does not move, but looks towards the one to the left and then points down, and the one to the left moves forwards. Q, after rounding the corner, you do see that someone is heading towards Zold, and the one to the right is still on the rooftop. You go in advance towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After a while, Zold, you can tell that there's someone with a strange cloak wrapped around themselves looking at you. While you can't see their face due to the cloak, you can determine that they aren't carrying weapons. So whatever they are, they're supposed to be likely just keeping an eye out for something or someone. You might fit that bill. Getting closer, around 10 feet, but not that close, in case you decide to try to attack. All right, there. They look towards you. Is there something you need?
Just a bit curious as to why you're watching me is all.
Oh, that would make sense. I am keeping an eye out for anyone that has yet to trial. Trait?
Yes.
I forget the word sometimes. It's a little puzzling. But you seem new to the town, so me and my partner had decided to investigate your movements.
This trial, I assume it has to deal with the mansion?
It does indeed.
Any particular reason why people need to trial?
It is the objective of the town to make sure that every individual within the city, not at the same time, but those drawn towards it, to take the said events to place in mind. It's meant to be. That's why the town is made for. No, that's not the correct terms. It's why it's presented. All the while, Q, you are heading up the building. Is there anything you're doing, like have you blade between your teeth while you're climbing Jack Sparrow? No, that's not
Nope.
Jack Sparrow style.
No need for weapons.
Okay. Then Zolan, you still have a turn of conversation left.
What's I was in a bit of a hurry to get here. What was the name of this town?
Oh, I suppose you have yet to determine what it is. I assume you were invited by another.
I was.
This town is known as... And then you get a strange sensation around your ears. Go ahead and roll Constitution. Saving throw. Not bad. As you begin to hear the strange sensation between their lips, more than likely the words you hear, you get a strange, almost sickening feeling. You don't collapse, you don't feel a strange sensation, but the very air around you did not want you to hear that word. Or the town's location, or something having to do with an exact for the town. But you did get the name. It's known as Ulma.
Ulma.
Yes.
A little bit odd that. Feel a bit of heartburn, must be.
It's the town. It does not want you to know too much about it. It's why it was propped up. Yes, that seems to fit the town.
Do you work for the town?
I am with the town.
Is everyone who's gone through the trials with the town?
They are placed here, but they are not with the town. That would not fit the script. Q, you do manage to get to the rooftop. The other individual to the right of Zold, 2 stories up, is still looking at this conversation. Q, you're too far away to hear it, but you can't tell that they're speaking. The man's not looking at you, Q, but they look pretty much the same. No need for descriptors. they're just closer to you than they are to them.
I'm gonna walk up and stand right next to him, and just watch the conversation happening below, and just pretend he's not there, but no, he's there. You know, I'm just like, interesting conversation they're having down there.
While you're doing that, the individual next to you more or less politely waves as some individual is also watching this. You can tell that their arms are bandaged, but between the bandages, you can determine that there seems to be feathers. Not normal, as even if you're a bird individual, let's say Aaron Kakra or the mimicking crow, which name I'm currently forgetting, Kenku, thank you. Their hands would not be feathered. But with Zold, we go back to this. Yes. Scripted is fitting. With the script.
I see.
Do you intend to go?
At dusk, or twilight rather, today, yes.
I suppose it is only fair. The man that also joined us not too long ago has also decided to take on the role. I do not know his name, however, but he is not from here. We do believe he might cause a problem.
Well, I get the distinct feeling I'll be seeing you then.
You'll be seeing more of us, but me and my kin are everywhere. You will not always see the same one, but you will know of the same one. You're not exactly sure what that means. You can roll insight.
Sure.
Can I hear the conversation now since I'm right here?
No, you can see them. Do you have, like, lip reading?
Isn't that observant?
I believe so.
Let me see. If I can see his mouth, I can understand what he's saying, then yeah.
You get half the conversation, the other half is cloaked in a cloak.
Okay.
But you could probably piece it together. But with the 22, Zold, you can determine that they mean what they mean. They're likely scattered around the town, scattered around the castle. However, you will likely, based on what they said, they're likely centried in a specific location. However, they might or may not be mentally connected. So sure, you might be another one, but the other one might have the information that you already possessed, or the conversation, at very least, that you've interacted with another one.
I see.
So you won't always be meeting a new person, if that makes sense?
Right, but they might still just have the information.
Correct. But they look towards you and then state, if you are going there, then I suppose I need no further examination. Is there something you require then?
I don't think so, no.
Very well then. I do give you this advice. Inside the castle, there are various odds and strange roles to play. I do suggest you play the one of the hero, and the end room is the one of the villain. And then they begin to walk away.
They provoke an attack of opportunity attack?
Yeah, technically.
No. Just he turns around and just immediately plow, just fucking blast him.
Death gun right to the face.
Possible. Zold and Q, however, you can determine when they were rounding a corner between building to building. They didn't round the corner, rather they melded into one of the buildings and basically became part of the building.
Ooh, I don't like that at all.
No.
And the
I'm
other
still
one,
sitting up there.
yeah,
on
the other one looks
rooftop.
towards Q at the rooftop. Well then, will you also be joining them?
Yes.
Then I suppose we'd need no surveillance on you as well. You do see him snap his fingers, not to cast a spell, but you felt a strange sensation the first time you cast something in this town. You then feel that moving away.
Thank you for removing that hindrance.
You're rather observant, aren't you? So then, if you are going to play the role, I do suggest you play it as lively as possible.
I look at him with a smile and say, "Happy hunting."
No, that is for the hunters to do. We are simply the stage hands. As he then melds going down into the building, provoking attack of opportunity.
I'm just gonna let him go.
Okay, he leaves then.
Then I'm gonna sit down and with my legs hang off the edge of the building, just sit there for a minute looking at Zold. Wait for him to come up.
10 seconds later, you notice Q, Zold.
Like a little girl sitting on the side of a cliff with her legs dangling. She's just sitting there, full armored and everything, just smiling, swinging her legs back and forth and everything, waiting for you to come up and join her.
It's a little concerning given the current state of everything, but I'll join you.
A few seconds later, you're on the rooftop.
Remember that chill you saw me have earlier, correct?
Yes.
And they were the cause of it.
I
There
see.
was something watching us, and they dismissed it when I said that I would be joining you in the castle.
Well, I'll convey what I learned in my conversation.
You do so.
Strange things are quite afoot. I don't know how I feel about all this. It feels... We came here on a whim at someone else's request, yet it seems like they were expecting us, and I don't like that.
Frank's got some explaining to do.
Well, we'll see him at twilight.
I think the only thing now is just to wait to go into the castle.
Yeah. Or you can do other things.
I'm gonna just sit here on this roof, like a little girl, sitting on the edge of a cliff, just having fun. Sit here and relax.
Sitting on the edge of a cliff, like most little girls do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've known at least 2 little girls who've done that. I've also only ever known 2 little girls. So, large sample size.
I mean, 100 out of 100, still 100. I digress. After a while entering into the stage of twilight where businesses begin to close down, bars, however, still remain open, so if you decide to go to the Old Crow after this is said and done, you can still do that, but no one is basically piling the streets anymore. The strange, pale-faced individuals, barring if they have any blood or not, you have yet to determine that, do go inside the buildings. Lumiere and Frank do meet you there. They don't seem to be talking much. They just seem to be just standing in silence. Frank then looks towards you. Oh, you made it back. That's good. Did you find anything else?
You've got some explaining to do.
That being?
They knew we were coming.
Looking towards Lumiere. I suppose they might. It's possible that they have their tendrils outside into the city and can determine who goes inside or who gets chosen to go that day. And Frank then looks towards UQ. If they did, I don't believe... I wouldn't see how they would. I mean, they might. I don't exactly have any magical sensation or auras around me. I can't exactly scry into a building and determine who knows what.
Just, everyone be careful. I don't like the feeling about this at all.
Me neither.
Well, I suppose that's more than fair. Lemire then states, well, I suppose we should take care of ourselves then. Now then, who would like to venture first? Or shall I, wow, words today. Like every week. Shall I venture forwards then?
We'll go. I'll go first.
Okay. Heading towards the castle keep, you can determine that there's a large barring of doors. They aren't barring your entrance. Rather, they're open. Before you got there, they were open. They were just standing in front of them. However, entering into the castle keep, you can determine that there is a nice veranda garden area. And at the actual doorstep, the threshold does contain 2 iron black doors with a strange motif of brimstone and fire, of almost a hellish place mixed with demons dancing in the flames.
It's welcoming.
I suppose it would be. Frank then states, do any of you have magic to see if it's trapped?
Hold on a second. I think I have that spell, maybe.
No, my magic lends itself towards getting rid of the door.
I could have sworn I had detect magic, but it's not on my list of prepared spells. I mean, I think I have access to it, but I don't have it prepared. So, no.
You should be able to ritually cast it if you take the time.
Okay, then I'll just ritually cast.
11 minutes
I
later.
forgot that I could do that.
11 minutes later, you detect no magic. Rather, it's weird. The iron doors themselves would be extremely heavy. That's not the issue. And the strange sensation is that this amount of iron would be massively expensive. The structure of the doors do imply wealth. The strange motif does imply wealth as well. However, the size of the doors, about 18 feet tall, which is very big, that amount of metal just for a door is an extravagance. However, the metal itself would keep from being too rustic. Keep it from basically aging too far. The best type of metal for that would have been gold, but it's too soft. So whoever designed this building definitely planned for it. Didn't plan for magical defenses, maybe, at least at the door, but maybe the only people that come here are the ones that are called.
Well, they're still expecting us, it seems. No reason to disappoint our gracious hosts. And Zold will go ahead and step inside.
You begin to open the doors, and it is almost as light as a feather. Entering inside, you do determine that there is a staircase leading up to a second-story building. To a second story, as the building itself does contain 5. To the right and left, you do see hallways. To the right, however, you do sense and smell a strange, almost cranberry smell, as if someone lit a candle, or perhaps someone is making a pie. However, to the right, you can determine and perhaps guess, based on how the building's layout is, might lead into other rooms. Perhaps some sort of dining room, perhaps some sort of living room. But the entrance itself leads you into 3 directions. So, right for Cherry, going upstairs or going to the left to determine what other rooms await you.
Upstairs. Zold.
Might as well.
As you begin to head upstairs, you begin to feel something around you. It's not the same sensation as only Q felt that. However, everyone else begins to feel the sensation. The vibration around the area does seem to jitter within your minds. It's odd. It's not as if you haven't felt the sensation before, but it's strange that it's happening now. You know that this type of emotion is connected to fear, but it doesn't explain at all why you would be afraid, especially right now. Heading up the stairs, you do determine that you're entering into a ballroom. Galas and the like likely have happened here. However, no gala remains. The very building itself seems to be broken apart and mashed, even though the exterior doesn't have this same sensation. Looking around you, it does seem to be almost ready for a party, but the decorations, the very balloons, the tinsel, the lights, they seem to be broken, cracked, or basically ripped apart. The walls themselves seem to be oozing with some strange, non-transparent liquid, as it is. I'm assuming you guys have dark vision? Maybe not. But currently you just see in grays.
No. I'm a human. I don't have dark vision.
We're both humans, but I have a magic item giving me dark vision.
Nice.
Rust gave him one. I don't have dark vision.
Looking around, Zold, you still see in grays, but you can determine that everything around you seems to be a miss. Maybe there was supposed to be a party here, but why on earth would the decoration still be here? At the end of this area, you do determine that there is a stage, and at the stage there are two doors leading to the right and left. However, at the stage seems to be a table, but it has things on top of it. It seems to be carrying 5 boxes, but the boxes seem to be large in size, about the size of your chest.
Go ahead and go see what's in these boxes.
Heading towards the boxes at the table, you can determine that they are wooden, featureless, but looking at them closely, the strange featureless sensation shifts. Each of them seems to have a strange symbol, not engraved, but part of the actual structure of the wood. If you didn't have well, you and Q didn't have a very crazy past perception, you may not have seen this. The symbols themselves seems to be connecting with one another. Perhaps arranging them in an order will give you something, but other than that, they don't seem to be locked, just latched.
So they all have the same symbol, or do they all have different symbols?
They all have different symbols that likely connect with one another. Perhaps forming them in a different pattern will give you a different outcome.
Sure.
But right now, you can just open them.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and open them for now. I'm curious about these patterns, though.
All right. Making it more scary. Anyways. Looking around and opening each case one by one from right to left or left to right.
Left to right.
Left to right, you can determine that the one to the left is a right arm. The one to the adjacent one is a torso. The one in the middle is a head. The one fourth to the I'm just gonna say the fourth one. The fourth one seems to have a still beating heart, and the last one seems to have the right arm.
So you have 2 arms, a torso, a head, and a heart.
Correct.
That's not creepy at all.
That's what's in them?
That's what's in them. Nothing else seems to be around. Almost this, again, the same featureless feeling around it. There is no blood, however. But if you decide to do a medicine check, I'm just going to use your passive, though. You can determine that these body parts are real. Just no blood.
Does it look like they all belong to the same individual?
It does seem like as if they do belong to an individual. The body parts themselves do have a structure to them, just missing legs. However, it doesn't seem like they should go together, but they would fit each other.
Can we look at the symbols on these boxes and see what the symbols are?
Yeah. Looking at the symbols themselves, you can see that one has a symbol of an E. The next one has the symbol of an S. The next one has the symbol of an I, capitalized. The next one has the symbol of an L. And the last one has a symbol of an A.
ESILA. The torso. Is it opened like its rib cage? Could I like open it and look into its heart?
Yes. Looking at the ribcage torso area, you can tell that the heart is missing, but the way the torso is built, it wouldn't belong to that heart you found. Likely someone removed the heart and just placed it inside. However, you can determine that there is a strange chemical feeling at the, minus the pun, heart of this, as you can smell something while you're examining inside.
Let's just go ahead and try and put a corpse together, I suppose. As best we can. Put the heart together, the arms, and the head on top.
So you're putting him back in the boxes and shifting him, or are you just mashing them together?
Put him back in the box and shift him.
Okay, how do you shift them?
I guess it would be the torso in the middle, the arms on either side, the head on top, and then the heart on top of the torso. And if that doesn't do anything, then the heart underneath the torso.
Okay. Let me look at the symbols. Weird. You accidentally solved it.
Did I?
Accidentally, yeah. Anyways. Looking around, you can determine that something is off about this. So you begin to build. Building a torso requires medical knowledge. While Q does have that, you decide to take a stab at it. So, building 2 arms put together, looking around, and putting the head and the heart next to each other, you decide to put it on top or at the bottom. The second time around, you do manage to get something, as the symbols themselves begin to spell out lies, but the A is omitted out. And then inside the chest, you can tell that they begin to vibrate and almost like the strange entities you met in town, meld at one another. Also, I think I might have given you the letters in the appropriate order, so it's a good thing you accidentally solved it, or else I don't know if you could have. Not sure, 100%.
So I was thinking. So I saw lies. Like I do. Like you see the letters and you immediately start being like, okay, what words can I make with this?
Mm-hmm.
I saw lies. I saw Eliza as like a name.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Leia.
Leia is not possible because we don't have another A. But yeah, I was trying to make words out of it, and I saw lies, but I wanted to exhaust the torso possibility first.
Fair. You do see, like, the entities that are in town, these boxes begin to meld with one another. Looking at you, you can... Well, not looking at you, but the boxes themselves then begin to mold, merge, and whatever lies inside is now waiting.
Go ahead and open it back up, I guess.
All right. You back up. Chest is still closed.
No, I open up. I open it up.
Okay, I did not hear that part.
Yeah, sorry. I can see how that would get confused.
Yeah, I back up. Okay.
Yeah, you missed the open. I open it back up.
Yeah, that would make sense. As you begin to open as you begin to open the box and step back, you do see someone emerging out. Some strange entity, but has legs. Oops, not that big. I removed the grid, and that changes the scope of the tokens. However, still pretty large. Standing at 10 feet tall, they look at you. Their visage is sporadic. You can tell that the body parts were used. However, they were basically sewn, sutured shut. Looking at you, the woman, as best as you can determine if it is a woman, let's see. They would likely talk with the person that solved it. So looking towards you, she does state, Are you the one that brought us here?
No. I believe I was cast as the hero.
I see. So you are another one that gets brought in. Then
Who are you?
I am known as the wife. Have you found my husband roaming around?
I don't believe we have. Would he be here in the manor?
He would be. He gets rather violent. So I do suggest when you find him, you get ready to attack. The only thing that stops him is his need for the color red.
So if we spill his blood, he'll stop.
Or if he spills yours. He does not carry much blood in him, though, so it will take time.
Is he the one with the crow-like mask?
He is not. He is much like myself, although far larger in scope and power.
I just want to point out a game, Frankenstein and his wife. All right, back to the game.
Okay, she's looking at you guys. If you are here to play the part of the hero, then what is it that you seek?
I suppose currently I seek answers. I'm still unclear as to what's going on here.
I do not know everything. But what I do know is that we were brought in to play other roles within the city, other roles within the castle. We were brought in to help out the individual that lies at the top.
And who is it that lies at the top?
It is a strange, misshapen creature. It seems to be much like me and my spouse, jumbled together, bit by bit, into an entity that is unfamiliar to this world.
Well, maybe we'll get answers out of your husband. Some more.
Perhaps. If you did not find him beforehand, then he is likely still at the bottom.
The first floor?
Yes.
Very well. And your name was? I forgive me.
I had a name once. I believe the one that was given to me after my death, though, started with a C. I believe it was Carrie.
And do you remember your husband's name, Miss Carey?
I believe he was given the name, or gave himself the name, Adam.
Excellent. I'm actually getting married here soon.
Congratulations. It is an interesting turn of events.
Most certainly is.
I would only assume. I died the night after.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry, poor choice of words. I was made after. It's jumbled. Many of these body parts have varying memories.
They're on none of them are your own?
Some are. Some are too muddled to remember. The only things I can tell you, however, are the ones most recent to this site. The one to the right, point to the right door, will lead you to a location where you do not want to go. A strange darkness that might keep you forever. The one to the left will enter into a hallway where an entity will hunt you down.
Fun. Sounds like fun.
And downstairs, your husband roams around,
He does roam.
hunting the color red.
He hunts anyone. The color red's the only thing that stops him.
I see. We'll be off then.
Do take care.
Been a pleasure.
She doesn't do anything, just simply nods. After you stop speaking with her, however, she doesn't seem animate, if that makes sense. More than likely, she does have a purpose here, but she is still an entity of death. So the life you saw in her, perhaps it was a projection of you just simply speaking with the entity itself. But they do not move away from where you found them.
Good to know. Back downstairs it is then.
Heading downstairs, you do encounter the strange sensation again. A strange smell of cranberries in the air to the right. The strange, almost shadowy hallway to the left.
Let's go towards cranberries. Cranberries are red.
Mm-hmm.
Entering the facility to the right, you can determine that it is, in fact, a kitchen. Looking around, you do determine that there are 5 pies inside. However, no baker. looking at the smell, these are fresh. Maybe not within the minute, but within the hour. So your perception of perhaps you were expected might be true. Although these are 5 pies. So maybe they thought you had a 5th.
Just take hold of one of the pies and I'll be carrying it.
You do so.
And I suggest everyone else do the same.
What was that last part? My headset.
Take a pie.
Okay. I'll take a pie.
You do so. Frank Lumiere also take a pie. There is 1 pie left.
I'll take the second pie as well. I have 1 in each hand.
Okay. You're dual wielding.
Dual wielding pies.
And now I think we need to head down that shadowy, ominous hallway.
All right, back up the stairs we go. Or no, first floor.
To the left.
Hallway.
Yeah, the shadowy, ominous first floor hallway.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Sorry. Trying to give it little details to make sure that I don't confuse you, but that also confuses you.
No, I'm tracking so far.
Okay. Heading towards the left on the first floor, you can determine that there are 5 other doorways entering inside, but they aren't leading to more hallways, just rather more rooms. There are 3 to the left and 2 to the right. The 3 to the left seem to be rooms. They likely encompass the side of the building itself and likely have a nice idyllic view into the town itself. The ones to the right, the 2 to the right, likely have to do with some type of storage or facility. So, 3 on the left, 2 on the right. The 3 on the left are likely rooms, the 2 to the right are likely something else.
Just knock on each door.
Okay. The first, like the left doors first, or like left, right, left, right, left.
Left, right, left.
All right. You get up to the 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th doorway, the second to the right, and you can hear some strange boof sound. It wasn't your knocking, but it was something else. And then you hear a boof sound a few seconds after. Whatever this is, it's getting closer to you, but not rushing you.
And it's coming from within the door?
It's coming from within the door. It is sounding closer, but the doorway itself doesn't seem to be an indicator that there's another hallway leading into there. So however far it is, it's not extremely far away.
I'll set one of the pies down in front of the door, and then I'll knock on it and step backwards.
You begin to place a pie by the threshold of the threshold. You begin to knock, and the building itself stands quiet, as it has often not. But then you hear a boof again. Again and again after a minute, you then hear it almost beating next to the doorway itself. But nothing seems to happen.
I'll get back in front of the door, pick up the pie, and knock again.
You knock again, and then almost as if it's an inch from your very ear, you do hear a poof once more.
We brought pie.
Hearing the other end of the strange doorway, the strange sound, you do hear another voice entering inside. It is very, very threatening. Is that all you've brought? Nothing else?
Should we have?
Looking around, Frank and Lumiere shrug, but the entity then continues. If you've brought nothing else, then I suppose your life is the thing to take. And go ahead.
It's hardly hospitable for guests.
And with that quip, you then, much like a horror film, see a giant axe burrow into the doorway, an inch away from your face. And then
Here.
this entity
Johnny!
breaks the rest of the door. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Damn, I was really thinking this pie ploy would work.
It might have. Okay. Da, da, da. Oops. No wonder that wasn't working. Let's try this again. He didn't roll that well. Zold, you're up first.
I'm gonna drop the pies and shoot him with my gun.
With a free action, you let go of your dual-wielding pies.
They splatter, sending cranberry juice all over them. Cranberries all over. If you didn't know it was cranberries, it would look like a set of a B-rated slasher flick.
This is true.
Rifle. Is that how it works? Yeah, that's how it works.
Taking his shot at the man that resides behind the building. Well, no longer, as they ripped the hinges from the door and broke the door in half. Both of those hit, thankfully.
Oh, and use my bonus action to cast my thing.
All right.
So,
Nice. Piercing into the flesh of the strange creature, you can determine that this is more or less a flesh golem. The entity seems to be knit, tethered, and tucked together. Much like the woman that you met at the top, they themselves seem to be patchworked. However, the skull of a deer demon thing, that just might be a mask. Rolled well. You can determine that they are hurt. They're not bloodied, but they are very hurt. Anything else?
no, that'll be it.
All
Yeah.
right. Look at the entities in front of them. They do seem to be interested. Examining the individuals that attack them first, They will likely target the individual they consider the most threatening, which will likely have been the one with the gun.
It's fair. It's very fair.
So they rush into the middle and aim directly towards Zold with a giant axe-like thing. Around their body seems to be illuminating electricity. Bearing their weapon down, they do, in fact, probably hit.
I will use a cast of shield, and they will miss by 1.
Nice.
I don't want to get hit with Here's Johnny Axe.
Fair. Barreling down, you cast shield and it immediately buffs the weapon to the right. However, they begin to turn the weapon at the hilt and swing once more. Just 28 hit.
I'm still at 26. I can't go higher.
Okay. Unfortunately, the bladed weapon then moves straight towards you. The serrated edge then pierces in and burrows deep. And it really hurts. Ignore that 3. Burrowing in, you can tell that this thing is strong. Maybe don't get hit a couple more times by this thing. Looking at Frank, he draws his longsword, striking at it with a +7. Does manage to barely hit. And then he goes in for the swing, barreling down at the creature. Lazzy.
Sorry.
It's all good. Barreling into the flesh, you can determine that it is not bloodied yet. And even if it was, the woman at the top was correct, as it did not yet bleed, even with the amount of damage Zold did. Frank then tries to swing again. +7 does hit. Okay. And you can determine that they are very hurt. Not dead, but more or less bloodied, even though they really don't look it. Cute.
I'm gonna walk up to him and take my hand and just lay it on there and cast Inflict Wounds.
Nice. That does hit.
At 6th level. 57.
Burning into this flesh golem's flesh, you then burrow in and inflict wounds. It then breaks apart part of its body, but it doesn't break it apart enough to see blood. You do, however, can tell that the stitching around its arms, it's subtle, but they are woven with silver threading. And what that means is hard to determine, but you can tell that no price was the price of making a golem at this stage and with this amount of material, expensive. They definitely didn't cheap out. But if they weren't bloodied before, they are.
No cost was spared, is what you were trying to say.
Yeah, but I forgot the saying. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like trying to be like, wait, what the fuck did he mean?
Yeah. Anyways, this guy, super expensive to make. Didn't have to be this expensive, but is. That, I digress. You do burrow into his flesh. Well, the flesh he's borrowing. He is now considered bloody if he was not. And then some. Anything else, Q?
Bless. Me, Zold, and Lemire.
Alright.
As my bonus action. Actually, you know what? 2nd level, I think, is the one I can, like, when.
Because I know you're doing your bonus action spells thing, enchantment spells or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Does that let you bypass the 1 spell per turn restriction?
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
At least the way I understand the wording.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'll cast Bless at 2nd level. and I'll bless all 4 of us, and I'll use my command order domain ability to command Zold to attack. If he wants to use his oh wait, he already used his reaction.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
To cast shield.
Oh yeah.
I forgot shield was my reaction. Yeah, you're right.
Me too.
Good catch.
Then I'll get Frank to attack.
Okay. +7. Does hit. Another 12. Frank's correct. He doesn't have magic, but he's very good at hitting. Bashing into this flesh golem, you do determine that... Again, Frank, very good at hitting. Flesh golem, better. So you might want to kill this thing or incapacitate it as soon as possible. Anything else, Q?
No, that's all my all I can do.
Lumiere, bringing out his strange derringer, similar to how Zold's own gun weapon works, begins to cast something into the barrel of the chamber, which is not something Zold can do. Burrowing in something and then the chamber procking back in, is unique, but I digress. As soon as they look at the creature, they draw their weapon in. Looking straight fast at the creature, a bullet then shoots directly at it. Unfortunately, due to this feature, it also has a chance of completely missing the thing. Plus its modifier, it just barely hits. Burrowing into the flesh of the golem, you can determine that as the bullet pierces into the middle of its abdomen, it then bursts with a gradient flame surrounding all in bright orange. The flesh itself begins to burn and sunder. That is 5d6. Oh wait, fireball is 8d6. Rolled average. And the flesh begins to burn and bellow away. However, now you can see some small trickling of blood around this creature. Ignore the 14. Zolt.
And another shot rang out.
$15 to hit. Well, I just gave you its AC. 25 to hit.
Yeah, you had already given us its AC with the 15 barely hitting.
Yeah, that's fair. Piercing into its flesh, you can determine that it's on its very last legs, which is very good. However, it is not quite dead yet. Anything else, Zolt? As soon... Oh, wait. As you pierce into its flesh, determining to see what you can do next, you can tell that it's almost cognizant of itself. Looking around, you can tell that it's looking at the small little wounds. Well, they're massive in scale, but to it may be small. Beginning to bleed, and you can almost determine that they are coming to themselves. They're still a very large, dangerous thing.
I have nothing else.
Alright. I'm gonna have to roll with advantage. Okay. Unfortunately for it, well, unfortunately for you, it then begins to continue to attack. Let's see, looking at the individual that struck it the most, it's still Zold. Q did actually pretty well as well. Frank hit it the most, but you two did the most damage. So it'll flip a coin. Well, I'll flip a coin. Nope, still Zold.
Darn. If he was gonna target me, I was gonna cast Hellish Rebuke.
Oops, that's a D12. Does 21 hit?
I'll use another cast of shield.
Cool. As this blade goes to the left instead of the right this time, it curves its blade, and then you feel a strange sensation around your body. But instead of hitting you, it hits the ground, and a thunderous roar of electricity hits the ground, curves around your body, and goes to the left of the room, breaking apart a good amount of that wall. So, that attack would have done damage regardless. It would have just done less if it missed. Rolled a natural 1, so I made it just completely do nothing.
Hey, sometimes we get lucky.
Ew.
Frank plus 7. Misses. Swings again. Does hit. Da-da-da. 1d10 plus 6. He's been getting good rolls. Q.
Alright, I'm going to place my hand in the exact same spot and cast Inflict Wounds again. 23.
23 does hit.
And I'm gonna cast it at 5th level. 43 points of necrotic damage.
Burrowing and burning its flesh. You can... Oh, wait. At this point, it would have advantage. At this point, it is basically down for the count. Another small hit from Zold, Frank, Lumiere, or Q would be able to take it down, but you can tell it is still trying to piece its mind together. If you decide to try to speak with it, time might be a factor here. Or, I'll just give it to you because it only happened a few moments ago. If this is the individual, which more than likely is married to the one at the second floor, she did mention something about seeing red.
And he's seen red, right?
Yes. It's around him, but not in his face.
I say we give them time.
Q, anything else?
I'll hold my bonus action spell of command until I need to.
Alright. Lumiere's turn. He will listen. At this point, he has advantage. You can tell that he is almost coming to. Zold, anything else?
On my turn, I'd like to scrape up some of the cranberry droppings and throw it in his face.
Okay. That does give a +2 bonus.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Anything else?
Nope.
Unfortunately, the pie, which was actually something you could have done with, failed. Anyways, before he attacks, you can tell he's almost coming to, but he's still swinging, still mad at the world. He will attack. Well, Frank's been hitting him the most, so I'm just gonna say he goes for Frank.
Well, I mean, I've done the most damage.
Oh yeah, that's true. Congratulations, Q. But I rolled 2 4s. Does 14 hit?
No.
He just wailing.
I have an AC of 21.
Fair. On Frank's turn, Frank listens, does nothing. Oh, man, I'm not rolling well for him. Q, anything else?
I'm actually gonna take and cut my hand open and take the blood from my hand and rub it in its face.
That'll be a +2. Which is just enough. You can tell with that weird oozing of blood and just rubbing it on its mask. The combat is basically over as he calms down and drops his weapon. The axe just hits the ground and booms into the ground. Not attacking, but the heft of the blade just hits the ground with just its weight. Combat is essentially over.
John?
Looking at you, he then states, Adam.
Forgive me, I was referencing a play I saw once.
Looking towards you, he then states, what brings you here?
The mansion. It called to us, just as it has called to many others.
So you are the new actors then. Sorry about that. When the demon possesses me, it acts violently.
If you're willing to forgive me, I have no ill will against you.
It is all right. The flesh wounds will heal. And then says nothing. Frank then states, why are you here? I am another role that is to be played. But once in control, I am the director of my own will once more. So, to piss off the producer, is there anything I can help you with?
What would be the best way to accomplish my role without giving in to the director's demands?
The best course of path you can take is going into the shadows at the second hallway. There, before you ever take a second step into the halls, you turn to the left and exit. Oh wait, sorry. I screwed that up. You turn to the right and exit.
And
So,
you
door
other
was-
actors, are you trapped here?
We are placed here for its purposes. To make sure that the haunted home remains haunted.
And if I wanted to rewrite the script,
That is what you'll be doing once you exit stage right. There, you'll enter into the 5th and final floor. No need to go to the 3rd or 4th.
very well. Thank you for your cooperation, and I do apologize for the gunshots.
Tis someone else's flesh.
Couldn't have hurt any less.
Nods, because it doesn't hurt at all. But much like the first individual that you've encountered inside this hallway, this building, after you stop speaking with them, unless you still have questions, much like before, their inanimate body is disturbing. While they are pleasant once they're not attacking you, they clearly have a role to play. And once stopped playing it, basically, much like themselves, are dead bodies.
Well then, let's say we take this kind gent's advice and exit stage right.
Right.
All right. Entering into the second hall, second floor, second hallway, to the right into the shadows. You come across this strange miasmic hallway. Looking inside and peering inside, it does present you with a haunting sensation of nothingness, a never-ending scope of nothingness. Do you take a step forwards?
Follow his directions, yeah.
You take a step forwards, and before planting your second step, you turn to the right and step into the shadows. Q, do you follow soon?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Lumiere and Frank also do this. Entering inside, you then, much like someone skipping the next scene or the scene after, you enter into the fifth act before you were ever meant to enter inside. Looking at the door that lies in front of you, there are two doors. One immediately to your left with a strange cane with two snakes. Winged serpents on top of that cane, wrapped around like a medical practitioner. And the one further along the hallway, which is the only other door remaining, is, much to your chagrin, much like the building's own entrance, another black onyx steel iron door.
Well, if the good doctor exists, this should be where he's at.
The good doctor would be to your right, immediately next to you, once you open the door. At the end of the hallway, which would be the last room, would be the villain, as the Watchers of the Town had mentioned.
Does it seem like we came from the doctor's room?
It seemed like you basically showed up out of nowhere, exiting the doctor's room. Yeah.
Interesting. We really did skip the story then. In that case, we should go confront the villain. As the heroes, it's our job. Or something thereof.
Aren't we looking for the doctor?
I think we already found the doctor.
At one point or another, however, when you look around, Frank has disappeared.
I knew it.
You didn't see him when you exited stage right.
If I think, do I get the feeling of some memories that are gone or just suppressed in some way?
Suppressed, really. You can go ahead and roll history if you want to try to piece that missing fragment.
Natural 20.
It just do be that way.
So, I'll just recap whatever would have happened floor third and floor fourth. That's a weird way of saying it. I'm just going to say that already. Anyways. Exiting stage right, you then remember the entities or the strange script that you followed but did not follow, or would have happened. On the third floor, you encountered a strange, almost miasmic pattern of hands stretching out from the walls, the floorboards, and the ceiling. However, before then, you went into the other adjacent room of... No, wait, you would have gone through the shadow room. You never figured out how you got through that room. I'm not going to give that one to you. But the third area with the hands of shadow begin to wrap around you and try to rip you apart. Frank was almost dragged away, but Zol managed to grab onto him and Q soon after. Lumiere shot at the hands, and they managed to be loosened enough that you both managed to break him out of it. You managed to use your own shields and whatever cloaks and garbs you had around you. Ultimately, you used your very surrounding nature to capsize the very walls, plunder into the very floorboards themselves and get rid of the hands to make enough of a path to enter into the next stepping stones. Or rather, the next staircase. Heading up, however, you can determine that something happened to Frank when that was going on. Ripping, or at least looking at him, you can tell that the hands ripped something off of him. There was something hanging around his neck, but it's now removed. You never really were sure what it was, as it dangled in between his shirt. Examining that pattern, you can remember that Q, it might have been some type of holy symbol, but Zold, you're not entirely sure. But it would suggest something of this world, if nothing else. Onto the next floor, the fourth, you entered inside and appeared to be a strange... Well, it was tough to say, but entering inside, you get a sensation of almost a swampy area that should not belong within a building. Peering through, you can determine that it almost resembled a forest with walls of water, a swamp. Entering inside, each shadow began to move and gesture towards and around you. After a while, these strange entities then began to lap and move around, as if something was looking at you, but the paranoia around you began to chime and move. You began to shoot straight into the shadows, and Q began to slash into them. Lumiere also shot and slashed soon after. But Frank went missing, and then almost immediately the staircase to the fifth and final floor opened. As soon as that happened, you entered into the door of the doctor, which was just a stone's throw away. Entering inside, you spoke to them, spoke about what had transpired here and what they have done. They spoke about a strange illness that people have, and he's trying to fix. But he was never really able to get them to properly heal. Thankfully enough, however, with the strange sensation around them and the magic that this world seems to possess, the doctor was able to at least buy time for them, giving them new adjustments. Rather than finding the strange creature, you decided to back out of that room. And that's the last thing you remember. You can always just go inside the doctor's room, but seems super creepy.
Some things are better forgotten, I suppose.
Since you rolled a natural 20 and skipped that scene, I'll just give you the token.
Alright, I guess to the villain.
To the villain indeed.
As you move inside the hallway, you then begin to see the iron door begin to slowly open before you ever reach inside. Looking inside, you do see Frank just looking at you on an iron throne itself. Almost
I knew he was it.
noble-like. As Q, you can tell that the demeanor suggests nobility. But the fangs in their mouth suggest vampire.
I knew it! I told you, Hunt!
I kind of figured too. To be fair, we scratched a lot of horror tropes, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally in a haunted house with people playing as actors and shit, so.
Yeah.
Frank then looks towards the rest of you and then goes, I see you've managed to get inside. The doctor not adjust you.
No, we're, as we should be.
That's a shame. I suppose I might tell you what has transpired then. Not too long ago, Ramon entered inside this facility, but a few months prior. The good doctor implanted a memory of having a brother. I used this to bring in new pawns to play this little game from time to time. After the citizens in the town, I grew tired and bored. always with the same results. So tell me, how much of a better fight will yours prove?
I read a story once, something like this. Thing that feasted on the blood of the innocent. It was killed by a man who trained with guns, but was killed by a blade through the heart.
Then let's see if the story lives up to the man. Go ahead and roll turn order. Oh wait, Q, go ahead.
No, I was saying out of character. Van Helsing.
No, the original story of Dracula. Dracula is killed by a cowboy with a Bowie knife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It sounds a lot like I'm lying to you, but nope.
No. I believe you. It's just, because what kind of got me thinking about Van Helsing was the picture. And that picture, the figure standing on the thing approaching the keep. It had, and then the bats flying around, and then the vampire talk. It made me think of Van Helsing.
Pretty sure this is concept art for Castlevania.
It is.
I
think.
Oh, it is Castlevania.
I
was
am
about to
not
say
100.
the Van Helsing game.
I'm pretty sure this is concept art for Aria of Sorrow.
I think that might be one of the Van Helsing games.
It might be. Honestly, I just looked up Vampire Keep.
Fair enough.
Da, da, da. Okay. Du, 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 du. Well, oh, that's loud. Zold, you're up first.
Yeah, I'll draw my blades. Have transitioned my Hunter's Hex to him. And start whacking.
Start whacking.
Whack, whack, whack.
Those scimitar, short sword. The last two hit. Okay.
29.
Piercing into flesh and bone, you can determine that they are hit, but not too perturbed. I'm just going to bring him a little closer. You're able to run straight towards him and slash in. However, the strange demeanor of nobility also is there. Q, you have flashbacks. Not of fighting vampires, but just snooty rich people. Which almost might parallel or be just as bad.
Probably worse.
Potentially. Anything else, though?
No, that's it.
All right. Lumiere rounds the corner and goes directly for Frank. Much like before, however, he draws a blade, but looks at his gun. But with the theme, it seems more appropriate with the blade. So with his blade, he goes directly for him and tries to swing in. And manages to do quite well. With the blade in hand and tow, he then slashes in for a good amount of damage. Striking again, he tries to hit as much as Frank did beforehand. Rolled a natural 1, completely whiffs it. Frank, looking at the hunter that came before you all, looking at Lumiere and trying to gauge what he can do, determines that he might have the most magic out of each of you, and tries to acquire it. He will try to make Lumiere fail an intelligence save. He is not that intelligent, but he does have proficiency, which is ironic. Oh, natural 20. While trying to control Lumiere just blinks and feels nothing. Taking his second action, he does look towards Zold and just goes directly towards him, takes out his own elegant silver weapon, and tries to plunge it into his flesh.
It's not very nice.
Yeah, I will now use his bonus to vampirism. That's a 15.
That misses.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's see, his effect, attack, movement, Q.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
You walk up to him.
Do I know if vampires are resistant to necrotic or not?
You've heard tale, you've heard stories.
How about radiant damage?
They are highly susceptible to radiant damage from what you remember. You've heard tale of hunters from the past going door to door, slaying anything they've seen or considered to be demonic. You remember that Morthos really didn't like those stories? Kind of happened to him, but that's neither here or there.
Marthos is missing my bachelor party? Question mark.
Kind of. So yeah, Q. Likely highly susceptible to radiant damage.
Alright, I'll cast Spirit Guardians. At 5th level. It's
All right.
radiant damage.
Casting a burning sensation and radiant damage around them, you do cast, and it does hurt. It's an area affecting, right?
Yeah, it's within
50 feet caster. It's like an aura.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
15-foot radius.
It does burn into the flesh, but you can tell that this creature, this entity, does not move away from it. Perhaps it's too noble to move. Perhaps it isn't considered a threat. Either way, it's staying put, and will likely attack the appropriate amount of damage at the beginning of each of its turns.
And then I use my bonus action to cast Bless at 2nd level. Just first level. On me, Lemire, and Zold. And then command Zold to attack.
All right.
Whack.
That does it. Thankfully enough, you didn't have to use shield for it to hit you with a 14. Nice.
Hi, by the way. Oculus. Or Derek.
Hello.
Hi.
You're
Currently-
missing my radical bachelor party.
Hunting vampires right
Yeah.
now.
What?
We're fighting a vampire.
I have an ear infection right now, so it's like,
Oh.
Oh.
F.
All right.
Alright, that will be my turn.
All right. Zold.
Whack, whack, whack.
real quick, how much longer are you guys going?
Another 10 minutes?
Never mind.
This
What's
gets
up?
added to the first roll because I don't think the first roll hits.
The first roll does not hit.
Does a 15.
Yes.
All three hit. Thank you,
Oh,
Bless.
that's right. Yeah, I forgot. That's what we didn't have to use it against the golem, so I totally forgot that.
You literally just cast it again, so.
Yeah. Roll for damage.
Whack. Whack. Whack.
Oh yeah, he needs to be making these con saves.
4, 5, 6. I assume that like the bleeding effect does not matter to a vampire, so I haven't actually cared.
It doesn't, but piercing into its flesh, you can tell that it's almost at death's door. This thing is surprisingly easy to hit.
Well, they're not. They have their other ways to fight, so they're. Yeah, it's interesting. He tried and failed on Lumiere.
All right. Anything else, Zold?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Lumiere looks towards him. Yeah. Before he takes his turn, Frank will use a legendary action to try to fear the crowd. So Q, Zold, and Lumiere, roll for me intelligence saves. Oh wait, that's wisdom. Sorry. I always forget fear.
Intelligence save?
Correct. Wisdom. Wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom. But we get a +4 also.
With your blast.
If a 23 fails, I will roll my d4.
A 23 does not.
12?
But, I'm afraid of 12. No, wait, they're... Let's see, base stats. No, 12 passes, barely. And with his bless, he also passes. You know what? I'm going to make him fail. Because Lumiere doesn't really use bless. Well, technically can't. I can explain on that later, but technically he wouldn't be able to use bless.
Oh, it's a super demon.
Yes. I'll just tell you now. Lumiere is one of Wick's brothers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just doesn't know who you are. Anyways, he does seem afraid and will try to still use his gun against Frank with his +8. Does manage to hit. However, casts nothing in the chamber, so only does 2d8 plus 5. 15. Oh, wait, he has disadvantage. No, he just completely whiffed it. Frank goes directly towards Q and tries to slash into her. With his +10, does an 18 hit? No, it doesn't.
No.
We'll try again. Does a 27 hit?
Yes.
That's 2d10 plus 5. 17. He does seem proud of himself. Not just for hitting you, but for making Lumiere afraid. It is now your turn. He does take your radiant damage, so go ahead and roll.
Subtracting health. On top of the radiant damage from Spiritual Guardian, so we'll just roll it again. Re-roll it at 5th level, because that's what I have it set. And then on top of that, I'm using my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke at 4th level.
Okay.
DC 17.
How do you want to finish him off? You can use your blade instead of a Spirit Guardian.
The Spirit Guardians and mixed with the Hellish Rebuke. And the Guardians themselves are these little matte, like kind of helms of watchful eye with very ever-present eyes, because I worship Helm.
Mm-hmm.
And they just start swarming in and out, and then the fire mixes with them, and then they just swarm him, bursting through him and catching him on fire.
Bursting through and casting with holy radiant fire, he then begins to cry out in pain. But then you hear not mechanical, but very rehearsed words. Maniacal laughter. As it begins to burn and turn into ash, you then feel the sensation of evil lifting from the sky, lifting from the very air itself, while his body stands on the ground into ash. the very air around you then begins to lift. The very decor around you of this strange but very almost vacant room then begins to be clearer. While the outside of the building, as you can see through the window, still remains the same, inside shifts into a almost plain room. Inside stands you, Lumiere, Zold, and after the burning away of the body, some other strange entity roams in front of you. And two more. They don't seem to be fighting. Let me give it Frank. But they look satisfied. Q, looking towards you, the entity then states, "So, were you scared?" You can see the two people behind him just looking at you and shaking their head yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. What about you?
Yes, but you know what's even more terrifying?
Go on.
Small, fluffy dogs.
Roll persuasion.
That lick at your face insistently.
Yeah, I heard they could be ferocious.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Why am I a copy of Zold, not Zold?
You're on copy because you're using that sheet in case you mess with anything or use spells.
Okay.
Okay. They never gave me that to watch, but I'll ask. Looking at Lumiere. Oh, I know you're afraid. Still afraid. The stagehands look towards him. All right, champ. It's time to get you back into your room. All right. You guys want to hang out some more? I'm always around. Although next time, I'm thinking Western. That's good. Keep it up. Next time, I'm sure they'll bring more people that you can truly frighten. They seem excited. The stagehand that remains goes, yeah, thanks for that.
Yep.
So, I'm sure you have questions.
You know, I think I don't actually.
That's fair. I'll just answer a few, though, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Well, I'm sure you've heard the name Ramon. The entity that the, puts up air quotes, vampire spoke of is the person that set all this up. They built the structure of the ground, the walls, and the castle itself. The ramshackle town came after, as they needed people to scare. Basically, they brought in, well, technically, unwraps his hands and then, basically unplucks the feathers from his hand that were glued. You never figured that out, but he just shows you. We are basically containing a few of the entities that they take care of. They decided to bring some into your world to house and keep watch over, as well as to experiment on. This one, however, is being kept in and seeing how magic affects its own abilities. This one is known as SCP-2006. Roman.
You made discoveries?
Yes. Not much, however. We were able to determine, however, that the magic of fear seems to be resounding in him once he tries to truly make someone afraid. It's a great way to make sure that he never gets too out of control, as his own abilities can, if not careful, highly be dangerous and supersede anything that you've likely seen. Lumiere, then go ahead.
I don't know. I've seen a kraken.
It can likely turn into one of those, and then some. Sorry, got a motorcycle out of my window. Lumiere then states, so it's not the thing that's plaguing the town. On the contrary, it's kind of the reason the town is here. The people themselves get their minds erased and get inscribed in them pleasant memories and a great story out of them. The strange coloration in their skin tone, however, is a result due to the... Well, we have to do this repeatedly. It's kind of imbalance in hormones in their flesh. To counteract this, we did bring in another individual that could help enhance their bodies. Not going over the top, but also makes them look a little different. I'm sure you've seen the people that have different details about them.
We did.
Basically, he's making sure that no one dies.
Of course.
Although other entities inside the house can kill you, so we try to make sure that people have ways of getting out of any type of situation.
Not bad, actually.
Yes, did you enjoy the pie part?
That was quite hilarious.
Yes. You'd be surprised.
If only it would have worked as I rubbed the scar now on my hand.
Usually people try to throw it at him. Interesting. But then he states, so, I'm sure you have more questions, but honestly, that's all I have. For your troubles, though, I can offer you one gift later down along the line if you see any of my brothers. Unfortunately, I kind of had to make sure, well, all of us, we're all tied together, make sure this town is fine. So once you find another of me outside in the world, they'll know what I know, and then they'll help you in turn. Sorry I can't give you money or a new weapon or ability. We're still seeing what this world has to offer us.
Understandable.
But maybe down the line we can assist.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Lumiere then states, I do not need anything, but if you have any more information on demons out there, I am hunting.
What you hunting for?
The stage hand goes, I'll keep an eye out, but I'm not quite sure. Lumiere then states, I have family matters I need to attend to. At this point, you would not know who Wick is.
I wouldn't, Zold would.
Zold would. I don't know if he would have put you into together, though.
How about we roll for it?
How about we roll for it?
Yeah, what would we roll for that?
Insight. Maybe. He does seem to have the same type of disposition of demonic as Wick, but not the same. But he could just be a variant of a demon.
Well, Wick was a variant of a demon, as we found out.
That is true.
You have brothers that try to kill you?
No. I do have brothers that also hunt, and sisters.
Does one happen to look like a candle?
There are a few, but one in particular looks... Sorry, motorcycles again. More
the
like a candle
spitting
than
image
others.
of it.
Yes.
We've met.
Did you manage to know his next location? You did not. Like, out of game, in game? No, you had no location or destination of where he jumped to next.
We didn't ask as it was.
Then I yet to track him yet. Well, I am done with the city. It's been a pleasure, madam and sir.
Pleasure was ours. Hope to see our paths cross once again.
They bow, put their parasol up, and basically walk out of the mansion. The stagehand then states, "So, I can teleport you to a town that you need. I can at least do that much. Luckily enough, I do have a scroll, so thankfully enough, you don't need to walk back."
Oh, that's quite handy. I'm getting married in Roanoke. Could you manage that?
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
He then begins to recite the scroll. After a while, these events, well, other than the little helpful tip or gesture down the line, maybe they're better kept swept under the rug. As, well, you do know weird, and this is just too weird. As we end the session for tonight.
That was